Eleanor Rigby stands as one of the most groundbreaking tracks in the Beatles' history, a haunting tale woven with melancholic lyrics and an innovative string arrangement that defied rock norms. Released in August 1966 as part of a double A-side single with Yellow Submarine, the song climbed to the top of the UK charts and reached number 11 in the United States. Written primarily by Paul McCartney, the song was conceived at the piano in the Asher family home. The initial spark came from a single evocative line, "Picks up the rice in a church where a wedding has been." However, the song's protagonist initially lacked a name that felt authentic. After rejecting possibilities like Ola Tunji and Daisy Hawkins, Paul settled on Eleanor Rigby, inspired by actress Eleanor Braun, who starred in the Beatles movie Help, and a shop named Rigby and Evans Limited near a theater where his then-fiancée Jane Asher was performing. McCartney brought the embryonic song to John Lennon for collaboration, famously exclaiming, "Hey, you guys, finish up the lyrics." Lennon, alongside friends Mal Evans and Neil Aspinall, initially misinterpreted Paul's request, but the two ultimately completed the song together. Disputes about who contributed what continued for years. John claimed he wrote most of the lyrics, while Paul maintained the opposite. Even Beatles associate Pete Shotton alleged his role in naming Father Mackenzie, and credited Ringo Starr with the poignant line, "darning his socks in the night." Eleanor Rigby broke new ground as a narrative-driven song focusing on loneliness and despair, subjects rarely explored in popular music at the time. The vivid imagery of her solitary existence and Father Mackenzie's unheeded sermons offered listeners a poignant reflection on the human condition. Producer George Martin's arrangement for a double-string quartet was equally revolutionary. Drawing inspiration from Bernard Herrmann's score for Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho, Martin eschewed vibrato in favor of raw, biting chords, creating an urgency that mirrored the song's bleak narrative. This classical influence was groundbreaking for a rock band at the time, but the recording process was fraught with tension. Sound engineer Jeff Emmerich positioned microphones unusually close to the instruments, a move that angered the classically trained musicians. They viewed such techniques as unorthodox, yet Emmerich's methods gave the strings an unprecedented sharpness. Despite their protests, the final result was a triumph, blending classical and contemporary sensibilities in a way that redefined rock music. The initial recording sessions took place at Abbey Road Studios on April 28, 1966. After 14 takes, the instrumental foundation was completed, with McCartney's lead vocal added the following day. Paul later re-recorded his vocal part on June 6, tweaking the performance and removing an earlier percussion track. A second vocal line was added to the final chorus, elevating the song's emotional intensity. The recording was slowed slightly during playback, enhancing its haunting quality. The song's release marked a watershed moment in the Beatles' career, showcasing their evolution into artists willing to experiment and push boundaries. Eleanor Rigby earned accolades for its emotional depth and innovative production. Adding to its mystique are the curious tombstones in Liverpool's Woolton Cemetery bearing the names Eleanor Rigby and Mackenzie, often cited as eerie coincidences by fans. Whether fate or serendipity, such details only enrich the lore surrounding this timeless masterpiece.